I caught my wife having an emotional affair with my online gaming friend. What do? I, 23M, caught my wife, 24F, having an emotional affair with one of my friends. So let me put this into context. I have been with my wife for 5 years now, and for the majority of our relationship it has been positive. There was one time where she slipped up early in our relationship, where she had exchanged nudes with this guy in our friend group. She confessed to me not long after it happened and immediately cut the guy off. I still loved her, so I thought it would be worth it trying to get through it. Fast forward until December of 2023. I was noticing my wife feeling a little lonely when I'd be playing video games. So I decided to add her to my group so she could join me when she felt like it. She ended up adding this guy who I will name Jason. I noticed they would talk to each other every day on Snapchat. However, I felt like I trusted her enough to not be that crazy kind of person to go through phones. Now, over a month ago, we had a moment where we were contemplating divorce and we ended up deciding we would take a break away from each other. So I went to stay at my parents' home for about a week and came back on the weekend. Immediately during our time apart, I noticed the difference in our relationship. It felt like we both were a lot more loving and were trying harder when we came back together. One night I knew she had friends over for drinks and I didn't have a problem with it. Over the last few months she's made a habit of having friends over when I have work on the weekend. One of these nights I came home because I was sent home because the work medic thought I may have COVID because I had a high fever. I come home to my wife over the toilet not feeling well. I do everything I can to make her feel better, getting her some water and some light food. After a while she goes and joins her friends outside again. A random thought occurred to me that she hadn't been wearing her rings, which wasn't uncommon for her as her fingers can get pretty swollen when she wears them all the time. So I checked her sliding drawer of her bedside and there they were. What I wasn't expecting was to see a note. It said, "I love you, Jason," and the word fuck underneath it. My mind immediately thought the worst and I did everything in my power to control myself and not get angry. I walked outside and asked her if she could have a chat and brought her back into our bedroom. I showed her the note, and at first she tried to play it off like it was a joke that she had done, but with the drinks she had, it was a lot easier to get the truth out of her, and she confessed that she and these guy had exchanged pictures as well. I was shattered. Immediately I was angry and I said I was done. She broke my trust again and I was ready to leave, but for whatever reason there was a part of me that still loved her and thought we are married, and that married couples work hard to get through these problems. So that's what I did. I stayed and tried to work through this issue, and she was extra affectionate and loving and positive on working on being the best wife she could be. As the days went on, I started to blame myself. Was I that horrible of a husband that she had to seek comfort in another man? Was I really the problem? Little did I know, she hadn't cut this guy off even though she claimed to have. One night, I found a message on her phone from a number I hadn't recognized. The message had love hearts and X's, so I was ready to lose it. I composed myself, saved the number on my phone, and called it the next day. I called on no caller ID, and when I heard who was on the other side, my heart dropped. It was Jason. I was crushed and confronted her immediately. Now my wife, she has some mental issues. She has episodes where she loses all sense of reality, and one night it got so bad she tried to end her life. Now I wasn't aware of this, but she said Jason was the one that was able to get her to stop, and because of this she wasn't able to so easily cut him off, and said she only kept contact because she felt entitled to and didn't want him to worry. She also said she didn't tell me because she knew I'd get angry about it. I said I understood, but said as of now I don't want you talking to him, especially as we are trying to keep our relationship. The same night I was up late and my mind couldn't stop thinking, and I stumbled across this TikTok of a couple in the street. And the guy showed them you could see recently deleted messages with people on iMessage. So that's what I did. Immediately I saw it said only 27 messages had been deleted. So I believed her when she said that she had only been checking with him and letting him know she was okay. I then pressed recover messages to make sure, and there it was. Messages leading all the way up until tonight, her sending photos with him, both of them flirting and claiming their love for each other. I was shattered, broken. I didn't bother waiting and woke her up. I was done. I called her out for being a liar and a manipulative and horrible person. She begged me to stay, bawled her eyes out as I was walking around grabbing all my stuff to pack and leave that night. For whatever reason, I couldn't go. I needed to know why. She herself said that she didn't know, and even in the messages she's telling the guy about how our relationship is doing so much better, and then messages later they are talking about him taking her clothes off. It makes me sick. I remember being angry and then going blank. I woke up on the floor to her asking if I needed to call my family or call anyone. I was dazed but didn't answer. She claimed she couldn't lose me and said she would out herself to the public of what she had done. Ruin her reputation, anything to save us. She claimed her mental health was so bad, and that when she was with me she felt as though that was the real her and then the one that was talking to him was another person entirely. Whether or not that's an excuse, I said I'll see if this can be saved. I'm sitting here laying in bed, thinking and knowing I deserve better. But part of me is afraid of what she'll do if I leave her. We don't have any children together, but we have animals and they have bonded, so I would be heartbroken to separate them. What do I do, and should I be running? Or am I right to stick around and try and make things work after she gets diagnosed and sees a therapist for her mental health? Comment 1. She manipulating you. Bro, no women will go this far in disrespecting and abusing their partner without you allowing it. She showed you who she is, but you allow her to be that. She right on one point. She needs to out herself. But you need to demand this. Bro, how far do you want this to go? Must you walk in with Jason banging her? Where your dignity? She needs counseling. And you need it for your codependence. She an abuser. But you're an enabler. You have mental health issues if you do not realize this is not healthy. Out her to everyone. Call a suicide line and her parents. Seek distance. Move to your parents for a month. Bro, Jason banged your wife in your home. She hosted him. Get a timeline and tell her since she do anything you want a polygraph. Normally then they come clean. Think the worst and then some and then you will only imagine the truth. Jason did things too, and with her she never allowed you. She with him and you're her safe plan B. Why will he commit? He getting everything she offers him. Survey her with divorce papers. You can withdraw later. But I fear you live in this broken relationship till it breaks your mental health. But that is your choice. Comment 2. Oh, she never has any consequences for her cheating behavior. You are letting get away with it. Every time she has no respect for you, the time has come. Move half of your money to a separate account, gather as much proof as you can, and save it to 2 different places. Contact 3 to 4 of the top lawyers in your area. This way she cannot use them. It becomes a conflict of interest. Always listen to your lawyer, even though it may not make sense to you. Tell all her friends and family how she has betrayed you and your marriage. You know the old saying, once a cheater, always a cheater. Your wife just proved the saying so. Comment 3. I am trying really hard not to come off as a dick, but you make it hard. That sounds wrong. All kidding aside, you have consistently allowed her bad behavior, so why would she stop? After you overlooked the first indiscretion, you showed her that you are willing to be a doormat. There is no trust. There is no respect. There is only you and your insecurities preventing you from demanding better and dumping her sorry ass. Story 2. I, F26, found out my boyfriend, M31, of 7 years has been cheating throughout our whole relationship. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 7 years. It hasn't always been easy, but I truly thought this was the man I was going to spend the rest of my life with. We have an 8-month-old who is my whole world. We've talked about spending our lives together, and he claimed forever that I am the only woman he has ever wanted. So a few days ago I lost my cell phone and decided to log into my iCloud on my old phone. My boyfriend happened to use that phone when he lost his a long time ago, so when I signed in I saw all of his messages. I kept scrolling and it went on for years. Cheating, multiple women talking about not using condoms, and just disgusting messages with so many people. I stopped after I saw he was cheating for at least 4 years with over 15 women and escorts that I'm aware of. He cheated on me before my birthday, when I would go visit family, when I was pregnant, while I was at work, even at the gym we both go to. I'm just in complete shock. I feel so sick to my stomach. I suspected things a while ago when he was always too tired for me, and would go party lots, but I thought we had trust between us. I was completely wrong. To read messages of him sleeping with other women unprotected, and then coming home kissing me and laying in bed with me, probably sleeping with me too, is just disgusting. I don't know how someone can do that with no remorse or guilt. We had a pregnancy shoot when I was 7 months, and I found messages that he went and slept with a girl the next day, while I'm carrying our first child. This is just way too much for me to even handle. I've been dealing with postpartum depression, and this might just push me over the edge. I feel like my whole life is a lie. Everything is a lie. I want to tell his family I feel like they should know how much of a shit person he is. So I confronted him that day because I'm the type that can't hold anything in. He swears he doesn't care about these women and that I'm the only one in his life since our son was born. That makes me feel like complete shit, so I was nothing to you until our son was born. How can I ever trust someone who can do this? Let alone raise a child with you. I love my baby more than anything but God. If I knew this, I never would have had a child with this monster. I feel like I don't know anything about this man. I'm also so embarrassed to go anywhere because people are going to label me as the dumb girl who stood by a man who disrespected her in so many ways even while she was pregnant. I'm on mat leave and don't make a lot of money right now, and he seems to want to make it work, which I have no interest in at all. I'm thinking I need to just stay a bit longer to save up so me and my baby can get away. I'm trying to push through for my kid, but I honestly can't stand to even look at this man. I had so much love for him, and now I'm crushed completely. On top of that, I have to stay strong to take care of my child. I don't have time to grieve and feel. I want to erase this part of my life, but sad thing is regardless, I'm going to have to deal with this man for the next 18 years. The messages were so disturbing, I just can't get these images out of my head. The worst part is there were pictures too, and majority of the women weren't as attractive as me, which is so hurtful. He's rather do that than just be with me. I truly think he is a sex addict and needs help. I suspected he may have cheated before, but to this extent is just mind-boggling. My self-esteem is shot. I don't have anyone to talk to. I just needed to get this out before I end up exploding and punching him in the face. TDLR. My boyfriend of 7 years has been cheating on me for years with multiple women and escorts. Comment. If you still have a relationship with your family and before him friends, you need to reach out and make them your support. You should also tell his family. Send them the messages and let them know this guy is a sick bastard. He's not a sex addict. Don't give him a label he can use as an excuse. Excuses are just like assholes, everybody has one. Let him be who he is, a vile, non-character, untrustworthy individual. He's no longer worthy to be called a husband, and should from this point be referred to as Lucifer. You need to become indifferent. He does not exist. Do not allow yourself to be fooled by this monster. Cheaters are usually very charismatic and manipulative, and before you know it, your heart is just a beat away from him. Get your self-respect back. Develop your exit plan and take care of your child. Answer from OP. Thank you for your response. I have to stay, unfortunately, until I can get enough finances to leave. My situation isn't very easy, and I feel like now maybe he used that to his advantage. I don't have a lot of support around me. My father is an addict and my mother lives out of province. The rest of my family is across the country, and since I've had my child, I've lost touch with a lot of my friends. Right now, I'm just focusing on me and my baby. I sleep in the other room in our house with my son and kept our interactions to a minimum. He is extremely delusional, tries to joke with me and just act like nothing happened. When I don't respond and just do me, he says I give dead energy. Like no shit, you drained everything out of me. I can't stand him, and I just pray I can save enough quickly to get out of this situation. As sad as it is, he has turned me into something I'm not. I don't like being fake, but right now I need to do what's best for my son, and then we will leave for good. He is in a way better position than me financially, and I'm taking advantage of that for my child, even though it's not in my character. I'm planning on reaching out to my family across the country and hopefully planning to stay there for some time. My birthday is next week, and the monster always gives me money for it. I plan on getting a plane ticket and saying adios. I'm honestly so hurt by this. I had some trust issues in the past, but I can't look past how vile someone can be. I'm just heartbroken I will have to keep in contact with this man for our son, when I really just want to erase him from my life. I really feel like he stole my best years from me, and I wish that he would have had the balls to just break up with me instead of being a cheating prick. Comment 2. Collect evidence, find a divorce lawyer. Get tested for sexually transmitted diseases. Try to get sole custody of the child so she can't see the guy again. Answer from OP. We are not married, thank God. I did get tested and was clean. We haven't slept together for a while, which I'm also thankful for because I couldn't see any recent messages. The messages I read stopped in December when he got his new phone, so I'm not sure what or who he has been with since that time. I love my baby more than anything, and I didn't have a father around growing up. I would never want to take that from them as much as I hate what this man has done to me. I don't want my child to not know his father. But I do need to get away from him, and I don't really want to be in contact directly. I would rather deal with his parents than him. I'm just so hurt my whole life has to change because of his actions. Comment 3. Give yourself time to think. I don't think it is reasonable for such a person to take part in raising a child. You want your child to be in contact with his lovers, whores. One day you will meet a man with whom you will be happy and who will be a good father. Answer from OP. Give yourself time to think. I don't think it is reasonable for such a person to take part in raising a child. You want your child to be in contact with his lovers, whores. One day you will meet a man with whom you will be happy and who will be a good father.